Hi friends, my fully remote friends who I don't get to see in person but I think about often. I wanted to make this video just to kind of explain to you these different materials that you will have found in your folder that you picked up from school, because they have to do with a project that we're doing in class. So it's not like a independent homework type assignment. This is one of those assignments that I am sending home that you would be doing with the kids in school, but you're not here in school, but you will still take part in it, don't worry. So let's talk about what on earth are these papers, Miss Flint? Well, one of them, the one in green, you will notice there's a bunch of different animals throughout this packet. 6, actually. There's 6 animals throughout the packet. On the first page, there are 2 different types of reptiles. On the second page, there are 2 different types of birds. And on the third page, there are 2 different types of spiders, specifically tarantulas. So, what are we doing with them? Well, we are going to be working on a compare-contrast project. Now, this compare-contrast project is called a project because there are a couple different components to it, some of which I have already sent home with you. I'm waiting to send a few more home until we get closer to that part. I feel like my camera just moved and I was about to fall. When we get closer to that part of the project, I will then send those materials home with you as well, okay? So, what you will do is you will read through a little, we'll call it background information about each animal, all right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to pick whichever 2 you find most interesting, or whichever 2 you would want to create a project around. Now, the 2 you will select will be either the 2 reptiles, the 2 birds, or the 2 spiders, the 2 arachnids, okay? Once you have selected those 2, you will then do the first part of the project, which is practicing some figurative language that we have been going over so much. The 2 pieces of figurative language specifically are similes and metaphors. You will create a simile and a metaphor for each of the 2 animals you have chosen. So for example, if I chose the birds, whose names, by the way, you will find out are Simon and Shadow, you will have to come up with a simile, okay, and a metaphor for Simon, and then a simile and a metaphor for Shadow, all right? Next, you will see in what has already gone home to you, this, oh my gosh, Miss Flint, what's this? I'm so happy you asked. I will tell you. This is a graphic organizer. A lot of times it's good to organize your thoughts when it comes to writing, okay? And obviously we are going to be doing some more writing, a little more in-depth writing. In fact, we are going to be putting together a really fun compare-contrast essay. Yes, I just called essays fun because you want to know what? Here in 6th grade in ELA, we make everything fun, right? So, compare-contrast means talk about the similarities and talk about the differences, right? Comparing means talking about whatever you are discussing, in this case 2 animals, what they have in common. And then contrast, ooh, how are they different from each other? So in this graphic organizer, and you'll notice I don't really like Venn diagrams. Those are the ones where the circles kind of come together and apparently make that sound. And then you have that really skinny, small middle portion. Let's be honest, who can ever fit really good quality brainstorm writing in that? So I like to do a graphic organizer that looks like this, okay? The 2 boxes that are next to each other but divided by a line down the middle are where you discuss all the points that specifically have to do with one of the animals you choose and all the information that specifically have to do with the second animal that you choose, okay? You will notice there's similarities, but there's also differences between these animals. However, down here, see how this box is not separated by a line down the middle? This is where you are going to brainstorm and record all of the things that you find. I keep saying things. Shame on me. I shouldn't say things. All the information that you learn that makes them similar, what they have in common, okay? So up here, the differences between the 2. Down here, what they have in common, their similarities, how they compare, okay? Well, once we wind up finishing this graphic organizer, it's going to help you because that will be full of all the information that you will include when you actually write your essay. This is not going to look like your final essay copy. No, this is the rough draft copy. And I have helpful hints as to what you need to include, how to craft, how to form each paragraph in a compare-contrast essay. All right? Now, this one hasn't gone home with you yet. I'm holding off to send this one home to you guys for next week. Okay, I don't want to give you too many things too far in advance, but I still wanted to let you know what you're going to be expecting, okay? Now, I will go over with you, just like I go over with our kiddos here in school, samples and models of how to piece together all the different paragraphs that go into a compare-contrast essay when it comes to a rough copy, all right? And then I'll check over your rough copy works, and then it'll be off to the races. You guys get to make your final copy, which will be typed up. Exciting. Then, last but not least, you also don't have this yet. This is the final component of this whole project. And you'll get 2 of these. I'm only just showing you one right now because the 2 papers look exactly alike. So this says portrait of. I know you guys are missing out on having art this year. What a bummer. We love art, right? So I figure, well, as a nice little closeout to not only coming up with similes and metaphors, showing me that you can use figurative language to describe your animals. Not only can you put together a nice brainstorm graphic organizer to then help you with a rough copy, which will then become a final copy, how about you take your best hand at being a nice artist and drawing a portrait of each of your 2 animals? But Miss Flint, how do I know exactly what they look like? Good question. I'm going to be sending you guys a document that has really beautiful photos of each of our animals. Okay, so Zookeeper Kyle and I have beautiful pictures, and you can, and I'm also going to send little video clips of each as well. It'll hopefully make it feel a little bit like a virtual field trip of sorts. And also I can't bring them into school with me, so you'll at least get to see what they look like and how they move. And then you'll get to be an artist, and you'll have one for each of your animals. So remember, you'll get 2 of these. So for example, if you pick the birds, you'll do your best job drawing, coloring Simon, and then you'll do your best job drawing, coloring Shadow, okay? So I am so excited about this project. I've been looking forward to it, and I cannot wait to see how you all progress throughout this project. So, bye my sweet friends.